testify.
Yeah, everything's Bluetooth, right?
State your name and what they use in your
Check
career.
my pulse.
So are you
Okay,
back
we're
in
live.
town full time
Life
now?
shines what people say.
Are you back in town full
So
time?
you can see the
Yeah.
faces.
There are a lot of lights behind us.
Yeah.
I'm going down to Duluth tonight to do some shopping and
We're on, Steve.
All set?
All set.
Are we ready to come to order? Of course we are. First item on the agenda is whether or not anybody wants to add anything to the agenda that was set out. I understand on the new business, we're gonna be taking also the second application, which was which?
The Grand Murray Music Collaborative Busker Music in the Park Summer Program.
Yeah. Okay. With that addition, I also, under new business, just want to raise an idea, which I will mention when I get there.
Okay.
All right, so if there are no requests for approval, agenda will be noted approved unanimously. The minutes, anybody want to do anything with the minutes besides approve them? Hearing nothing, the minutes are approved unanimously. Golf report, you're here, Paul Jones.
yes.
Report.
Okay. All right. Well, we were looking at trying to open on the
Can you lean into the mic a little bit, thanks?
yeah. We're looking at trying to open up around the 15th and be skeptical about that today. We got snow this morning and about 21 degrees. So, and it's going to be like that, you know, probably for most of the rest of the week. I think it's supposed to start warming up a little bit at the end of the week, but anyway, things like the course came through pretty good. There's a couple of greens that I'm concerned about. It looks like there are a couple of areas on green number 4 and number 8 maybe got nicked a little bit, but it's been so cold it's hard to say. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. The holes that are like in a terrarium sort of setting where they're blocked from the wind and they have sudden exposure, those look really good. So have to wait a little bit to see. It's too early to call on those greens yet, but anyway, I'm sure everything will be fine. But yeah, so we'll be getting things set up for next week to try to get it open for the 15th. Really, the big challenge coming into this year is really going to be getting help. We have got enough help for inside, but I'm really hurting on the clubhouse. My main guy is going to be Eric. He's a musician, and he's his brass band. They're doing a European tour, so he's going to be gone for a month in the middle of the summer. So we leaned on Eric pretty hard. So going to be looking if anybody knows of anybody who'd be interested in doing part-time work up there in the clubhouse. That'd be great. It's really what we need probably the most.
What are the dates of his tour, Paul?
Pardon me? The dates of opening?
No, that Eric's gone.
Oh, the dates that he's gone. He's leaving, I think it's about the third week of June, and then he's going to be back probably about the third week of July. So he's kind of gone for about a month.
If your grounds crew is good?
Hmm?
Your grounds crew is good? You have plenty of people for the...
Yeah, grounds good is pretty similar to what we've had, so we've been able to maintain pretty good. I've got one of my grounds people that will help me in the clubhouse too, so it's going to be helping. I'm going to need more than that. I know there's one of the young guys that they get out of school and they work for us part-time in the summer. Did a nice job helping out both ways that way for us last year. I might talk to him and see if he can help us at all, but a lot of times those the school kids, it's a part-time thing. They want to come to work about 4 hours and get out of there and go do other things in the summer. So yeah, realistically, I've contacted some of there's one person yet I have to contact that's worked for us in the past that we're interested in. Tony. He was great. He's a professor. I think he's in finals right now, so I'll probably try to give him a call one of these evenings and see what he's up for. Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, I think, things look good. I think, on our purchases, we're lined up for purchasing the grinders for servicing our reel mowers, which we have like 19 reels that we grind annually. And then, golf carts, the course that we were trying to get the carts, their used carts from, that didn't work out for us, so kind of moved away from that. We went back to our purchase on the new carts, so we've got 3 new carts ordered, and I think I believe that gets finalized through the council or whatever the protocol is, and then those would take about 3 weeks to get here, so those should be here, by the end of May, basically. So that'll help us. Other than that, we got our old carts. We've got a couple that aren't running. I think hopefully we'll be able to get those things functional. Other than that, the only concerns, really, I was just talking to my sales rep for chemicals and fertilizer. I'm assuming that stuff is going to cost more, fuel is going to cost more. At the end of the day, how much more will it cost on our budget? I don't know. Things fluctuate. Usually fuel is pretty steady number, but this year, everybody knows that fuel costs more. So that might make things a little bit different. We're a little concerned about traffic. It's going to affect people coming up to play, or what's going on with Canada and those sort of things we worry about a little bit. But we can't control those things, and each year seems to be we're growing each year. So hopefully the trend will continue. So we just try to do our thing, and people show up, and that's when we get a good course.
If fuel costs are gonna be jumping around indefinitely, maybe we wanna think about buying electric cars, even though I know that they're not your first choice.
Well, so there's the old school way of thinking is that electric carts don't make sense for a public course because they have you can run them for a couple of rounds and then they have to be charged up, and people enjoy using them, there's no doubt, but they're we replaced our batteries the year before last. I think maybe I'm confused, maybe it was the previous year. We replaced the batteries on our electric carts, and then that'll give us about 5 years with those, and we'll have to do that again. And that kind of cleans us out for purchasing new carts that year. So that's kind of what we're up when you're electric carts. That's kind of what you're up against. Every 5 years you have that expense.
When I owned an electric car, I never had any trouble playing 18 holes and having some left over in terms of charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's more like 4 or 5 hours than 2, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they should go 27. We run them for 18 and then take them off because we don't want to get into that scenario if we can help. And I'm sure they've gone out for 27 and all that. But I don't know. Electric carts. From an environmental standpoint, those are good and all that. The other thing that was pointed out to me was that in our building we're set up for the 8 carts that we have with electricity and outlets and stuff, and we don't really have the circuitry for too much more. So those sort of things could be involved too. I know with our water pump station, if we want to upgrade there, you're talking getting triple phase power in, and it costs. My recall's pretty good, but it's like we're talking like numbers like 45,000 just to get hooked up. And so these are big numbers for us. So in the end, really, that's why for municipals, golf courses, just running gas units seems to work out good.
I suppose gas, fuel costs for all the mowing equipment, things like that.
We run
diesel.
we run diesel in quite a bit of that, yeah. So that's expensive, and, one thing, back to the golf carts, is that, you know, the fuel efficiency on golf carts is quite high, so we won't feel a lot of pressure from that, I don't think, a little bit, but not, it won't be huge, but the diesel fuel will be probably more significant with our mowers and all that. So it is what it is. Yeah.
If you get desperate for help in the clubhouse, you might talk to the members of the board to see if we'd like to learn how to run the cash register.
It's not, it's a fun, it's kind of a, I know I'm pretty like law on my presentations, but it's good, it's a fun job, cause like people come in and they're upbeat, you know, they're there to have fun, it's kind of an upbeat thing, so yeah, it is kind of a nice job.
Would it be useful to put an ad in the paper or
Yeah.
on Boreal?
We have that going now.
We've got ads in North Shore Journal, Cook County Herald, Boreal, city website,
Good.
front desk of the park, weekly newsletters, I've seen ads. I mean, we're just about everywhere we can, we've got ads. As soon as the club is open, we should have an ad on the counter.
Yeah, I had a meeting with that Ron today, and he's not very interested. Seems like he's more interested in staying home and working on his home and
Oh,
things like
too
that.
bad. We did have one applicant that I thought would have a little bit of part-time available, but
Yeah, well, he said definitely nothing in May, and then kind of backtreading from there. So I'll keep on him, but I'm not real optimistic about that. But like I say, the people that have thought it would be a good job and come in, and then the golf course is going and people are coming in. Yeah, it's a good deal. It's enjoyable. So.
Do we offer people who work at the clubhouse to free golf?
No,
That might be smart.
it's not possible. There's no perks for public workers. You don't get memberships, you don't get discounts, you don't get it.
Most of the golf courses I know, the staff gets to play for free, but,
right.
It's not how it works with us.
okay. Is there any action you need from us, Paul? Today?
No. I think the most pressing things for us was we got the grinder purchase and the cart purchase, and I think that we've done the due diligence and all that, and I think it's rolling out in front of the.
Council's got a memo, they'll look at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did the grinder go through? Is it done?
Council's gonna look at that tomorrow night, Bob.
Okay. And then how much is the battery for an electric car?
About 900 a cart.
Oh, a little bit more than that. They're probably about 1,200, and then you have to buy all new cables and connectors and stuff like that. So,
So
probably.
it's a chunk.
Pardon me?
It's a chunk.
Yeah, it's
big
a chunk.
investment.
It's a chunk because our capital budget was like it's 15,
Yeah,
and that chewed that right up, replacing those for those 8 carts, and yeah, kind of took the big bite. I think we were up to about 12 something.
yeah. How do you know when they're going bad? What do they do?
Well, they start they just start failing. You know, you get a round out, and they start failing after maybe one round, or they start acting like a sluggish, like a filter or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we could have sat there and, you know, fixed one and then waited for the other to have problems, but we just replaced them all because we're just trying to like provide. You have people coming through, it's a seasonal deal, and we just don't want anybody having a bad experience. So we have a good course, give them equipment that works, and that's really all we're offering is golf and carts. So
But you figure 5 years and that's it.
yeah, 5 years is kind of the spectrum. Like, you know, we can try to run them longer than that, but like I say, as far as the budget wise, I would probably prepare for 5 years. Now on the golf cart scenario, on the gas golf cart things, what I would have liked to done, and things are, you know, different here because the city has to put in for the deficit at the end of the year and that sort of thing. So getting equipment is sensitive, and but you know, the way that the dollars changed over my term here and expensive equipment, like when we first started buying our carts, they were $4,000. We got, you know, we have a good purchasing deal from these distributors, so it's, we got those. Had we bought a whole fleet of them, we'd probably take and turn them, you know, after they have a 4-year warranty, use them 5-6 years and then sell them. We probably sold them for what we paid for them and then start over again. New ones are 6,000 now. So, you know, and then eventually if you keep doing that, then your ownership outlay is less. I don't know, you're in a little bit of the used car business, but you know, those things sell pretty easy. The used carts that we were trying to get from that other course, they had 12 carts, and those were 2014. They're in good, nice shape. But they offered them up to the golfing public in their region before they let us add them, and they pretty much gobbled them up. They bought them. So they bought them for.
Do you recycle your batteries? Do they go back?
Well, you turn in your, on electric carts, you turn in batteries, just like you do anywhere for a core exchange.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, then you pay
You get
more.
anything for them, or no? Are they of any value? Old batteries, any value? Or?
Well, like I say, I don't know. I don't know. It's be another sales.
You can't just throw them away.
Well, they go back. The people that we purchase them, we return the old batteries to them,
Yeah.
and they recycle them. However, that's done. I don't know if anybody's there's a market for selling used batteries. I don't know, but you know, that's nothing we've explored at all. But yeah, used golf carts you can sell. We could probably even sell those terrible ones that we have now for something. But like I say, the way it looks like we're going now is we're just gonna buy carts and run them for 20 years, and that'll be how it goes. And we just buy a few a year, that sort of thing. But I don't know. Like I say, it's not my money, you know. So we just try to do it as it seems possible. So stay within our budget numbers and all that.
Okay, it occurs to me it might be worthwhile to have somebody with sufficient knowledge do an analysis of what would happen if we spent the money to be able to have more electric carts, whether there would be any savings in there, not just to the environment, but in terms of.
What kind of information do you want, Steve?
I think we've already made the point that we don't have the charging infrastructure in the shed.
The question, it would be, if you did it would be a long-term capital improvement and something that, you would analyze over 20 years, not 5.
Well,
I can talk to the rep and see if there's any points pro or con that he wants to inform me about.
Okay, I just wanted to raise the question in terms of having an analysis done more tightly and in terms of a long-term capital investment.
Yeah, I think from my analysis, if we could have electric carts, I'd get electric carts. It just doesn't seem economically feasible for us in our public's.
Well, that's the question that I raise, is whether if the analysis looks over a longer period of time, whether it becomes more economically feasible, that's all. Anyway, it's not something we need to do today, but sometime between now and the next time we buy carts, it probably would be worth doing a tighter look.
Yeah, we can run some numbers on that and look at that just to know, sure.
Okay, is there anything else that people want to raise with regard to golf? Anything else you want from us, Paul?
Not that I can think of.
Thank you for coming back. The trend line for the course has been good since you've come. I hope that the trend line continues.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
The next line on the agenda is the city council report, right?
Yeah, we had a meeting on April 2 and 2nd. We had a presentation by the library department. They gave a report to us on the library, and if you want to watch that whole report, I would just have you look online and the city council meeting. they updated us on how the library's doing and all the ins and outs of the library for the upcoming year. Planning Commission got a new member on that. That'll be Kelly Swearinger is gonna be on the Planning Commission, so I think that they had one opening. They filled up the Planning Commission, which is nice. We're still looking for a member to sit on the PUC. We're short one person on that right now. A notice of award, we voted on a reward of the improvements to 3rd Street. That'll be getting done by KGM Paving. And that'll start, I guess, when the road bans come off, I guess, as soon as they can get that started. Let's see, what else did we have? The city went through a process of revised job descriptions. So we got different job description revisions of various jobs within the city. And so we approved those new guidelines for those jobs. What else did we have? I think that was pretty much everything.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, that's it.
On the city council report? Then I believe we're on to the parks report.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So everybody's got a copy of my report sent out yesterday. Hope you had a chance to see it. We're on track to open. I think is the big news. The good news tonight is that it's May 5th. We've been open for 5 days of water and bathhouse service and had some pretty good activity over the weekend. It was pretty good weather and maybe saw 20 or so campers. A few seasonals are trickling back in. The summer folks are returning, so it's on. We're open. Bathhouse number 1 above the marina and number 4 across from the ball field, currently open. The RV dump station is open, and everything came back to life in good shape. Like no major water leaks, no major bathhouse mechanical issues, and so we're feeling pretty good. Seasonal staff has started. Select seasonal staff, probably just a handful, custodians and maintenance workers. And starting this weekend will be 7 days a week office hours, 8 to 4 generally this time of year until leading up to Memorial Day weekend, where like the Thursday will be 6 o'clock and Friday night will be 8 o'clock as we go from practically empty to full on Friday of Memorial Day. So yeah, full house for Memorial Day weekend. The Grand New York Bike Race obviously drives that quite a bit with the tent campers, tenters showing up for that bike race. So it's got a couple more weeks now to get things ready. We're, deep cleaning the other 2 bathhouses and out on the sites picking up sticks and trash and dog poop. And so we're on it. The marina is actually in really good shape. I guess I skipped that first part. Had some good weather in April, got to docks mid-April, started dealing with the bent pipes, the broken pieces, not as bad as we had initially projected. We took all the boards off, looked at all the fasteners. Tough docks, aluminum docks, really tough. I think designed to flex a little, and most of the pipes that were bent we were able to extract with some just good old-fashioned back power, manpower, and so we didn't have to bring in a big expensive crane. We got the 2 broken finger piers that were on A dock disassembled from the main pier, floated them over next to the bulkhead, had Greg Olson come down with his truck crane, got them out of the water. A week or so ago, Brad Root Jr. welded up the 2 ends. They look really stronger than new. And tomorrow, replacement floats arrive, the black plastic foam-filled floats that ended up having 4 cracked ones. So we've got replacements on the way, as well as a few spares for future repairs. And so really good news there. I reckon total all-in pricing on damages, $5,000 to $10,000. I'm still waiting for receipts for the crane, the welder, and the floats. But yeah, it's going to be I would say well under $10,000 for repairs. So we may not make an insurance claim, right? We've been talking about that internally. It's a $20,000 deductible, so we don't feel like we're going to even come close to that. or whether or not it's like a stacking amount where like later on in the season if something happens, you know? Yeah. So we're working on that behind the scenes, but fuel docks in place, actually put 120 gallons on a boat today. We're open in the marina as far as service for transient boats, pump outs open. We're in a really good spot. Let's see, so a week or so ago, or was it a couple weeks ago, we had that Harbor, or Boulder Park Shoreline Resilience Open House. Gosh, I guess that was more than a couple weeks ago, or April 13th, I think it was. Anyway, we saw a few of you there.
It's right here.
Yeah, it was right here. Very small crowd, handful of people, maybe 8, I think, signed the sign-in sheet. We got 6 comment cards. We had 3 alternatives for review, like to stabilize the shoreline, control shoreline erosion and wave action on that northeast corner here up by the trading post corner. And, you know, one of them was just an improved sheet piling, dredge, more boat parking. One of them was like riprap revetment with vegetative buffers. And then one of them was kind of a hybrid, both the sheet piling extension and the revetment and the buffer. And I think working with Stantec engineers and the coastal grant people, we've kind of moved towards that hybrid model. We like the idea of the riprap and the vegetation in the extreme northwest corner where the waves are the most impactful. And there's potential coastal brook trout spawning grounds. So we want to, be sensitive to that. But then as you transition down, as you move down the wall to the south where we already park boats, we know that sheet piling is going to be needing repair and replacement and possible extension heightening. So the whole goal here is just to really get some good data to use when it comes time to master plan the entire point, because we know that's needed. When and if the Coast Guard station comes under city control, we've got a chance to really take a look at that whole area. The parking lot could or should be redone. It's no longer needed for truck trailer parking. The boat launch is now officially across the bay. And so this is really kind of a smaller piece of shoreline stabilization in that northwest corner where the waves tend to roll in on the big storms. We've got some good wave analysis and some good modeling, and we know some of these solutions would be effective. So Stantec's going to work that into a 30% complete plan, which is far from detailed or spec'd or engineered or any kind of, maybe some super rough cost estimating around it just for the sake of funding applications, but yeah, just good data to have as we move forward on the entire Boulder Park Coast Guard Point area. Questions on that? So I don't know, I sent out that QR code for the Echoes app after last month's meeting. Did anyone have a chance to go and demo that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great, we're looking for feedback. What did you think?
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool if it's non-intrusive, whatever signage or that kind of thing down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just seemed environmentally respectful, kind of cool deal.
Yeah, what'd you think, Bob?
I just listened to the one you sent.
Oh, the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't get that app on your phone?
I
to go in the park?
didn't go down there.
That's fine. No, that's fine. James has been super busy lately. He was involved with like the May Day parade down in Powderhorn Park last Friday, so he apologizes, or he just hasn't been able to commit to making the sign, getting a draft for the sign for us to review. But we've been doing a little emailing back and forth, and at this stage, he's really just looking or hoping for feedback or suggestions for what to put on the sign. If there's anything that comes to mind, let me know, email me. And the size, and we both agree, like, probably less is more, smaller the better. 12 by 18 would kind of fit in with on the dog bag post dispensers right now. We've got an opportunity, I think, to share those with the signs.
And how many are there, signs?
Yet to be determined, probably like 2 or 3, maybe on either side. Like the dog dispensers are 2. There's one like on the east side right across from the trading post. And then there's one kind of central, like near the pine tree. So maybe there could be a third, like on the west side as you enter, like across from the harbor inn.
if I understand it correctly, this is sort of an optional listening thing by somebody who connects to it through their phone.
Exactly.
So that's probably worth emphasizing in the signs somewhere, that, you can have music that's not intrusive to the rest of the world.
Yeah, and it's more than music, it's, spoken word and history. And so that's what he's trying to get right on the sign, is like, it's a QR code in essence that, when you scan it, it is gonna download that app. It's a special app that needs to be installed on your phone. So that's where the sign needs to be somewhat instructional of like how to use this, this is what this QR code is. So it's a little bit tricky, but we're working on it. We'll have a draft sign soon. No rush, it's there, it's on now. Feel free to let Kate, take a stroll, open the app. Did you have any issues with like the download or the allowing notification? I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Anytime you load an app, it needs to know, like, can it access your this and that? It has to access your location.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So it was a pretty smooth process for you. That's good. That's what we're hoping for. And then finally, we just got a word from the GMRPTC, the Regional Parks and Trails Commission that's, in charge of regionally significant parks. They're on a mission this summer to gather quantitative economic spending data. Visitor spending is, I think, just for the sake of justification of funding, right? They are like a branch of the state legacy funds. And so the more data they can amass on economic impacts of regional significant parks, the better for future funding. And so we ourselves will be conducting visitor surveys, like personal paper copies. I'm kind of pledged to do one a day through our front desk signing system, or I'm always out and about on my bike, so I would have no problem with like asking people, how many times you come to the park, how much do you spend, that sort of questions. We also have QR code posters that take people to this survey, and we'll put those up like in the bathhouses and the front corkboard and down at the marina, and we'll do the best we can for them because obviously they're our partner now, they're a significant funding source for our bathhouse project. So when they asked if we would participate, I said of course. And silly little side note, but one of my first park jobs in college was doing visitor surveys for Hennepin County parks on their cross-country ski trails, so I'm not afraid to go up to strangers and ask them what they think. So yeah, it feels really good to be open, and with staff back, it's going to be a good year. We've seen a significant amount of cancellations, whether it be the price of gas or just the cold weather, especially early May cancellations are kind of 50-50 right now. Some people are making it, a lot of North House students are taking advantage of our location, but then a lot of folks that just are from the south and check the weather and it's 31.
Ice to go away.
Yeah, yeah. But trending, strong as far as reservations through the peak of the season remain quite strong. Like I think we're up about 15% on last year's numbers.
I wonder if there's any wisdom available to us about what the impact of the fuel prices and the diesel prices going up so much and bouncing around. Whether anybody has any notion as to whether it's going to increase or decrease our attendance.
I've heard it both ways, Steve, right? Because you won't travel, airfare is really expensive, driving out west is going to be expensive. So we've seen this in the past. We've kind of weathered that storm with that plus and minus where like, yeah, the guy from Texas might not drive up to see us, but the people in Anoka are going to come up, right? It's like it's maybe a double-edged sword where the idea of a staycation where you stay close to home and spend less on fuel.
I wonder if your survey could include a question about that.
Yeah, I haven't looked that close at what they're asking, but we can always ask that without the survey. And I see that in our who's coming from where.
Did the price of fuel affect your decision to come or not come?
Yeah.
Something like that.
For sure, the Canadian situation has, I think, proven itself to be a not a good sign. Like the lack of Canadian visitors over the last summer, the previous summer, we were kind of brushing off as a no big deal, but when I see some of the numbers from the border itself, where they keep statistics on, Canadians coming down, and it's like 50% less. And it can't help but think, like, that's hurting our bottom line. And that is really hard to do anything about it. It's kind of what Paul says, it is what it is. But we'll do our best. The weather's gotta be hot and dry, and
Yeah.
that's what we count on.
Maybe it would help to tell the Canadians that Trump doesn't do very well in this country.
I'm not going there.
I wanna check on the fuel data, go back when we had the last fuel jump in prices and what year was that? I ran a station then, so
Yeah,
I didn't really see gallonage decrease, but I did see larger vehicles decrease. You know, people, like you said, they took vacations, but they didn't travel 700 miles. You know, a lot more closer people. They still traveled and visited, you know, and didn't stop it,
Yeah.
but they didn't drive as far. So.
Anybody else, is there any more from your report, Peyton? Anybody have questions or comments that haven't already been made? Okay, we need to save some time for our tour of the bathhouse locations. We have 2 special event applications. The first on my pile here is from the Fisherman's Picnic. I assume this is much like prior years.
Yes, sir.
Looks like it.
Do you have anything to tell us about it? Okay, does anybody have any questions or concerns about Fisherman's Picnic?
Was the power okay last year?
Power's great. Underutilized, if I could
Yeah,
say
lots
so.
of power on it now.
Yeah,
So no complaints and,
no complaints and capacity to grow.
okay, great.
All right, so Chair will entertain a motion to approve the application for the Fisherman's Picnic.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye, raise your hand at the same time so we can. Excellent, 5-0. All right, the second application is from the Grand Marais Music Collaborative and Busking Performances. I gather this is again similar to what we had last year.
Exactly.
Is there anything more you want to say about it?
No, it's a great program.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Again, I'm looking for a motion to approve that application.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There being none, it passes. Okay. Any old business other than the site tour?
You had some new business.
I already raised it in connection with your report. That was the long-term economic effect of the fuel prices.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, can we sit here and look at this indoors where it's warm?
Yes,
What's that?
yes.
Can we look at this indoors where it's warm?
Yeah,
Before we
maybe
go
one, I thought
outdoors?
that a little introduction to this would be useful.
Yep, happily. So, so this is a concept, this is the concept we submitted with our grant application for the new bathhouse, a custom-built new bathhouse. Approximately 15,000 square feet, which you see is like a 30 by 50. There's the overhangs that would, I imagine, stretch it to more like 40-ish as far as width goes. You know, there's easily a 5 or 6 foot overhang on these, so let's call it 50 by 50. I've got a couple of locations down at the park right now we can go look at soon and put out some little sticks to portray a 1,500 square foot building. And what we're really thinking about, or what we're looking at, is which side of the road, which side of the corner to put it on, down in the end of the road as you make your way to the boat launch. Right before that is the Group 1 corner, we call it, right? So it's across from the pavilion, to the west of the pavilion. There's a group camping site there, there's some pine trees. And you see I made just some quick notes on your sheet of the revenue from that corner. And I was wrong. I think a couple months ago I said, oh, that group site only makes a couple $1,000s. And it makes $6,000 last year, approximately. And so keep that in mind. On the other side of the road, on the north side of the road, is the active campground where we've got RV sites, full hookup RV sites, higher value sites because of the proximity to the lake, and full hookup, electric, water, sewer. And you can see I've run the numbers on the 6 sites that I believe would be eliminated if we were to site the bathhouse on the north side of that corner. Sites 122 through 127, right? There's 6 sites total. We made approximately $37,000, $38,000 off those sites last year, right? Each site averages about $6,000 a site. So
That argues for the $6,000 site.
I was like, should we just save the
All
walk?
other things being equal, how much farther away from people is the $6,000 site?
It's
Plus a piece?
yeah, like that's what we go look at now.
Okay,
Where if anything, it's more appealing, obvious, front and center on the south side, on the group 1 corner. A bathhouse structure there is gonna be, no doubt, more popular and useful for day users and pavilion users and boat launch users and beach swimmer users, and just the general idea that this is a bathhouse for anybody down on that corner beach area. Versus the north side, it's gonna look a little more tucked into the campground itself, right? It's just how you'll see the trees and the landscapes down there. It's gonna make it look, oh, maybe I gotta be a camper to use this bathhouse, maybe not. I mean, people are gonna have different sensitivities to it. But yeah, part of this location is curb appeal, view from the harbor, view from the campground. And it's there's some pros and cons to either side of the road. If it's on the north side, it is a little more tucked in. It's not so front and center. You probably wouldn't see it as obvious from like across the bay even, or on the water. But, is that what we're going for? We want people to feel welcome and have a comfortable bathroom when they're using the beach and they're using the pavilion and using the boat launch. That was part of the strategy for pitching this to the Parks and Trails folks, is this is more than just for the campers, for the day users and the dog walkers. And if it's on this group corner, south corner, it seems to be more inviting to that, or more appealing, more obvious. North side's more tucked into the campground, like I say, definitely impacts those 6 sites, as well as surrounding sites. And you can get that sense of just seeing how the other bathhouses function now, like Bathhouse 4, which is down that road across from the ball field. It's a 1,500 square foot bathhouse. It's kind of the reason, and we said it's a pretty good sized bathhouse, it's just right. So we use that Bathhouse 4 footprint to plan this new one, and the number of fixtures and all that match. And yet, it's a bigger building that you wouldn't want to be camping right next to. And in fact, we have a couple sites that are the closest to those, and they're not popular. Or if people take them, they don't like the traffic, they don't like the hand dryers blowing in the night. There's doors banging. It's just a busy thing to have next to any.
we should
campsite.
reserve those sites next to the bathroom for men over 80.
Well, we do feature them as ADA sites. It's a good point, Steve. They are like accessible sites that we sell to people that want to be close to a bathhouse, need to be close to a bathhouse, and can roll into the bathhouse from those sites.
And it
So
occurs to
there's-
me that the one question that maybe we want to think about is, what will the view be like for the people in the campground once the building is there, and do we care whether it's about it?
Well, shall we go have a look?
Well, I just have a question about, are we taking one down,
Eventually, Bathhouse 2 will be demolished,
which is close to the office?
just under the office.
And
Yeah.
if
And that would
this is,
create some extra camping spots.
2 to 3 nice sites, high value sites will be replaced on that block.
Spot.
and if if this was on the Group 1 site, it would be close enough to all
It
these
meets,
sites on the east.
it meets restrictions for,
Yeah, so there's that
Distance.
400-foot radius
Yeah.
of,
Right.
it's in that radius.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I looked at that, I was wondering what that too was.
okay.
Yeah, it does, even on either side of the road, there's just the tiniest gap of coverage sort of down right under where Bathhouse 2 is now, of like 4 or 5 sites that are outside of the ring of Bathhouse 1, 3, which is to the west over by the rec hall,
Uh-huh.
and then where this new one would sit down at the end of the road. But the long-term sort of master plan addresses that by rebuilding Bathhouse 3 on the east side of the road that it's on now. Right, like moving it to the east several hundred feet, then we get a, ring of coverage for those 4 or 5 sites that wouldn't be covered with this scheme right now.
Uh-huh.
That said, the 4 or 5 sites that aren't covered are like front row, full hookup sites
So,
that generally don't need support.
uh-huh.
But from a, Department of Health permitting, licensing perspective, we need to respect those 400-foot radii, but we currently don't have that. Even so in our present setup, and we're licensed, we're grandfathered in, Bathhouse 2 and 3 leave a gap down on this corner that we're gonna go look at,
Um,
of like 15
They're
sites.
too far from both of those.
Yeah.
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 So 122 and 127, those sites, are those, they're not prime sites, but are they sought after sites?
They
Right
are.
in the corner, because of good view and,
22 and 23 are on the corner with views and big rig friendly, like easy in, easy out. So those are making like close to 7,000 a piece. But then as you move in, they get smaller, less of a view.
right.
Are we ready to go look?
I think the incursion on the view of the sighting matters a lot. Big building on the point, nothing surrounding it, nothing between it and the lake. I think you may lose some money, but it might be a better sighting to pull it in. Second thing is, the bike trail ends up close to Bathhouse 3, and as that is rebuilt, the possibility of a more formal DNR bike terminus as part of that needs to be kept in mind for the next iteration. And then don't overlight this thing. Low lights, downward pointing, all the good stuff. Because if you lit this up like the IGA store at the end of the point, it would not be a good thing.
Yeah, no, there's no overhead lights or,
Yeah.
pedestal lights.
And I'm gonna start my prowling with the dark meter this
Yeah.
month.
Try it out at Bathhouse 4,
Going from place to place, and there are some pretty light spots and some dark spots. You don't wanna lose the dark spots.
Is everybody ready to go make the tour? It's 5:35.
I'm gonna have to do a little quick put away of the tech, but you guys can head down there now, like park at the pavilion or on the group corner, and I'll be there like not too far behind you. And so, what did I talk with Mike about? As far as the formality here, we're not gonna be televised down there, so we're not gonna make any motions or do any business.
Just,
This
it's
is
just
a
gonna let
site
me
tour.
talk.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
We can bring it all back on the June meeting. If we do decide that the south side is a good deal, or a better deal, however we look at it, we'll have LHB like remap the concept map to portray it on the south, and then make a motion to move forward with that at the June meeting.
All of the things being equal, it would seem to make sense to have the long side toward the lake rather than wide.
Yeah, I think that's how I stick it out, but.
The sighting and the view shed of the other sites are really important.
Yeah. Well, let's think
One
about,
lighthouse is enough
let's think
You
about
don't need a
rotation
second
together.
one. behind the boat launch.
You don't,
Okay,
why not?
Because it was too
Yeah.
light down there
Well,
already.
give me your mic,
I
Oh,
remember we had
give me your mic.
two big garages down there at one time too. that-
I didn't say it didn't used to be worse.
Pass
We
your
use
mics
the good
down.
ones, actually.
Oh,